unmute the mic. I got it. It's good.
Oh.
Okay, so again, what's up, guys? Good Tuesday evening to you. Hope you guys are having a good
Our
night.
sound engineer sucks.
He's fired.
He operates the turret.
I was saying the weather here is not great. We've got storms tomorrow coming in with 37-mile-an-hour winds.
You got a lot of
and
tan
higher.
go on. Let me detan you.
We have
There we go.
Storms marching across the U.S. right now, and it's between hot, cold. We can't seem to get balanced out.
Isn't that like a blind date?
Something like that? Yeah.
How much money you put into it, so how much you get back out. No,
What was
actually, it's 90% in, 10% back.
It was in the 20s last night here,
It was
but then in
cold.
the 70s today.
Well, they're most of them are in the freezing.
Yeah, so
But at least daylight savings time coming up.
yeah, that's what I say. Daylight savings time is this weekend, so that's a great thing. Days will be longer. Hopefully, I saw daffodils blooming today, so that's great.
It does my hair.
I fire them, but hope you guys are having a great start to your week, and I hope you saw tonight that we are having a awesome guest on here tonight, the master builder himself of the big Warbirds, Mr. David Kelly. And he is building a massive B-17, guys, and got a lot of great information. We're going to try to get you guys tonight on things he's done to it, things he's in the process of, what it's all made up of, and everything. So we hope you'll enjoy this show because this is a beautiful plane. And
don't forget the 3D segment.
Yeah. I don't think they want that one.
You don't want 3D segment?
No, I don't want that.
Phil,
unless
you want that?
Unless it's Hooters Girls 3D. You know, we can't have that.
Bring the Hooters Girls. Well, I don't know. They're shutting down 300
Tim
Hooters.
over here. Showers about.
Oh, my goodness. He must be
Tim, thank you, buddy.
Cabin fever, right?
Right, exactly.
Showers abound, may need one. Where's the sun?
Yeah, well.
The sun doesn't exist for another month and a half.
Not right now. But without further ado, we're going to bring in Mr. David Kelly, guys. Welcome him in here tonight. What's up, man?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's a beautiful
It's a
plane.
little hard to hear you. We got
plane
rain hitting my shop roof, and it's a metal roof. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Well, that's a mighty beautiful plane you're working on there behind you.
It's a good size one. It's a good size one.
What size is it?
What scale?
It's B-17 1/6 scale. So if you measured the wing, it's 18 foot 10 inch or 17 foot 10 inches wingspan, and about a 13-foot fuse from nose glaze to the tail gun.
So it should weigh 55 pounds.
Couldn't hear you.
He said it should weigh about 55 pounds.
Oh, no, it shouldn't go over 23, I don't think.
Okay, and
he's got banter.
Actually, I expect it to be between 100 and 120 pounds.
Man, that's a lot.
Wow. Good gosh. It'll take a trailer alone just to move that thing around.
This is version 2. The one I had 5 years back was 2 8-foot wing panels and a one-piece fuselage. Now this fuse is in 2 pieces, and Phil Clark out of Fighter Aces UK, he modified the wing for me so that each wing panel, instead of 8 feet, you get a wingtip out there between the aileron and the flap that comes off outside of the outboard engine. So it should be a lot easier to handle. And I won't travel with it in the trailer on its landing gear, but most of the time around the field and stuff like that, to keep it inside a tent, all I'll have to do is pull the wingtips off. So that'll make it much handier than the other one.
So you carry a crew with you to get it set up?
A crew of 1. My brother, he's a Navy sniper, believe it or not.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyways, he and my dog and my wife, they bum around with me, and we make it work somehow.
So I'm guessing that the landing gear retracts are probably the price of a Buick.
Yes and no. I know they're one-off, and they're. Let me bend over and just get one out here.
Uh-oh, probably got it on a lift. Dang, look at that.
Oh my God.
Dang, my goodness.
Wow. Those are Glennis wheels.
Yeah, Glennis.
I think those wheels are almost 6 pounds a piece. They are a piece.
That's got to be real rubber and
big cylinders, but they are it's a very basic retract. You can see.
yeah, it's just like an
the old
enlarged.
Robarts that went in everything. They just scale them up.
Wow.
Wow, that's nice. That's beautiful.
And what were those? Like $100 or how much were those?
I have no idea. I got to give you a little bit of a history on this airplane. It was built in the UK. I don't know who the builder was. And it was test flown and then put away. So it was never finished. Phil Clark knew that I had sold my other one and that I was looking for one, and he had come across this and got in contact with me. So I managed to get it bought. And when I got it here in a big crate, 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot ocean liner type crate. When it came here and I inspected it, it needed a lot. It flew, but I think that was really all the work that was put onto it. They wanted to get it built and put up into the air, and I decided to pretty much gut the airplane. It's in a complete rebuild process. I took the fuselage back to the way it would have come out of the factory, and so it was a blank interior, and I don't know what they had tried to prep that fiberglass with, but all the primer paint was coming off in blotches about as big as a softball. So all that had to come off, and that's really all I've done. I haven't had the wings on the building board yet. This takes up the whole thing. So when I get the fuse done, it'll go in storage, and then I'll get the wing panels up here. But I do plan on making it to the Houston Bomber Field event this year. So.
Oh, good. So how many Bitcoin does it take to get that thing in the air?
How many Bitcoin? Well, we've got 4 Stinger engines on it, 40cc twin cylinders.
Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of power.
That's a lot.
The airplane came here with G38s on it.
Oh,
and
man,
that's how everybody in the UK flew this airplane, anywhere from the G38 to the Zenoa G45. But most of them are on 38s, and it flies them quite well. This airplane turns out quite a bit lighter than the wooden one here by I forget who the manufacturer, but there's another 1/6 B-17 out there that's all wood and glass, and it turns out to be about half the weight of that airplane.
Wow, that's a lot.
So,
But you were saying earlier that this one is also comprised of foam as well, too, right?
the wing is foam. Yeah, it's cut foam and then glassed. Big wooden spars in it. The spars are offset. They slide by, and then there's a box inside the fuselage, and then it all bolts through the big spars. The spar stands about 4 inches in height, where it goes through the root of that airplane. I don't know if you can see it on the camera there.
What's your assembly time?
Oh, yeah. So they
right
overlap.
there.
Okay, yeah. So what's your assembly time do you roughly think on this when you put it together at the field?
I would
3
say
days?
it's under an hour, pretty much under an hour. There's, I have not fully assembled this one yet. The other one, since it was one-piece fuselage, it rolled out on a cart. You put the 2 wing panels in it and threw your wing bolts in it and threw the gear down, and it rolled off the cart. I'm not sure how I'm going to work this one, but since everything is in smaller pieces, I'm sure it'll be a little bit more. But I would say once we get used to everything, an hour and a half into the air.
That's pretty good. So do you have how much fuel are you putting in this plane? Are you thinking?
I think I'm going to have 40, maybe 42 ounces to each engine.
What's your flight time? What are you thinking there?
I have not run one of these 40 Stingers. I've got the EME 70s, and they seem to drink a lot of fuel. But I would imagine a 40-ounce tank on a 40 is
you're
easily
gonna go
30
long
to
time.
40 minutes of flight time.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
don't
great.
think I'm going to be a shortage of fuel on this.
That's
No.
great. You probably get tired of flying it before you have to land. You know?
Yeah,
That's-
you got to hope that you don't run into some kind of problem where you can't land and waiting for it to go dead stick, because that'd be a long time.
Yeah.
Then you got to worry
Stay
about
there
your
flying
batteries
airplanes.
draining out.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
are you gonna have lights and everything on this as well?
I will have a landing light, and that's it.
Okay. All right. And so you're working on the fuselage now. What have you done so far, and what are your plans on the fuselage?
Well, since we've got the camera sitting right there, this top hatch, that comes off. In this area right here at the front, the cockpit, I have plans on getting that pretty well built. I'm going to move the camera so I can show you what's going on up front in the nav bomb area.
Yeah.
Does that show up?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. You just bring in on it a little bit.
I'm behind the camera now, so I can't see. Does that?
Right. Yeah, that looks good right there. You can tell us about it. That looks nice.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is pop this glazing off.
Okay, yeah.
And you can see what we've got in there so far. And this all comes out, believe it or not, in 3 pieces. Once the guns are out, I'll pull that out first.
Now, is this all 3D printed?
No, that's all built right here on my deck with hand.
Oh,
tools.
gosh.
Wow.
And the way this comes apart, I'm going to reach up in there. Can you see that back bulkhead with the radios and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's coming out next.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there's that.
That looks great.
And then what happens, I've got this walkway and floor split in half. So this piece comes out.
Oh, that's cool. God. And Wayne gives me a hard time, David, about wanting to put luggage in the back of a Cessna.
And then here's the other side.
Wow.
And then it's just blank back in there.
See,
But-
Wayne, that's what I call detail. See,
It's everything I can do to get stickers on it.
I'm a sticker man too. I love them.
that looks awesome, man. I love the detail and the scale. I mean, that is.
Well, you got telling you went to look for luggage today at Hobby Lobby to get in your plane, right? They didn't have any.
Yeah, I'm taking my Cessna.
You
That,
should ask him. He'll know.
yeah, I'm looking for some leather luggage.
Miniature leather luggage for the cockpit. That's cool.
That is amazing. Gosh, I love the wires, everything. That is awesome, man.
Where's the bomb sight?
That's great.
Cool.
That's cool. My goodness,
And
that's a heck.
there's
What
that
servo? How many
section. Here's
servos
the-
are you going to have in that thing?
There's the nav
Oh yeah,
table,
that's cool. Look at all that maps.
That
His
is too
map.
cool.
radio. That's the
where'd you get
bombardier
your-
pedestal and bomb seat.
Where'd you get your maps from?
Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just Googled up World War II maps,
And shrunk them.
and the first thing that comes up is eBay. There was thousands of them for sale. So the
Wow.
first one that I could get a hold of that had a good picture of it, of the European theater, I just reduced it on the copy machine,
Oh, that is too cool.
folded it, and got it put in there.
Wow,
But it's
that's
got all the
cool.
restricted top secret
That is too cool.
stamps on there in the works. So if I ever crash it, I got to eat the map, I guess.
Wow. So Wayne was asking, how many servos are you going to have in this thing?
Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3 in there now, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It'll be a total of 11 without the throttles. So
Wow.
sounds like a lot, but it'll all go through the power box, and it's very manageable. The my B26, I did the starters on those engines with choke control and individual start control, that the whole works on the radio. Once you get into 4 engines, I start running out of buttons and memory on how to do it. So
yep, you literally have to have a list right in front of you, a checklist, or you're going to miss it. Just too much.
So I'll just hand start these like I did my other one. It'll all be mechanically set up to what I did on the other one is I'd start one engine, warm it up, shut it off, go down the line when I had the last engine running, and then I just went back through the line the opposite direction and got them all started up on idle, and everything went good. It was a pretty good system. And I get a lot of questions about the sync and engine failures. I've never worried too much about sync. And the other thing what I tell most people that I've learned about the multi-engine flying RCs is the top end is not as critical as that low and the transition up in a go around. So that's what you really want to depend on is that landing power, the idle, and being able to go around. Right. Once you're in the air, if there's an engine that's lagging a little bit or one going a little faster than the other, you just don't notice it in the air with power to it. So
yeah. So do you turn your engines to the lowest power output? I mean, with the lowest RPM on one of your engines, do you attack them?
I check them with attack just to make sure that they're running where I would expect them to run. But do I try and sync them? No.
Okay. So you just going for the best possible average right across the board.
Yeah.
That's reliable.
Yep. I've lost engines on this B17 before, not this one obviously, but the other one. And truthfully, if my spotter didn't point it out to me, I never would have noticed. Because
really, no kidding.
It just the airplane.
The only place that you would really
big dorsal. Yeah. The authority of it. I mean, you notice it only in the sense of you're flying an airplane. You do what you got to do, but performance, I just never really tended to be an issue with an engine out on the airplane. And I would say, out of probably 150 flights, there's 3 or 4 times that I had an engine loss, and all 3 times it was like a surprise to me. It just not an issue.
So pretty much once you get up to speed, you're in the air, you don't really realize it. It's probably if you're coming in and you're in that area, that zone of where you need the power, and then one's out, and then you're going to get this yawing factor, and then all that mushy stuff. That's the danger zone to me.
That's right. It's that low airspeed, and then you you have differential torque and thrust. That's what's tough.
Right. I have the old Banana Hobby 909. Okay, and it's like 15 years old. It's got the old wooden yardstick for a wing spar, and I think it's like a 78, almost an 80-inch, whatever it is, but it's old school. 15 years old. So what you have to do is you have to put the props on correctly. I had all 3 going the right way and had one going the other way. But you can't hardly tell unless you got your little checklist. So, you're at the field and everybody's asking you questions, which is the hardest thing to do. Not that you want to be rude, but you want to, your mindset, you want to be. So I put one of the props on in reverse and I didn't know it. So I set it out there on the runway and I run it up, and man, it just went. I'm going, what is going on here? And I look over there. I get up to it. Oh, you dummy. You had one prop on back. But anyway, it flies good when all the props are going. It's fine, all electric, old school. It's I've literally a guy had it in his barn and he had it for forever and he never was going to do anything with it and he didn't want to play with it. And I said, well, right here, I'll do it. I'll get it flying. You can get that flying? Heck, man, I can get anything flying. I work with junk all my life, so I can get that to go. So everything's original, all original electric motors, all original ESCs, everything. It's almost 15 years old. Flies like a glider if you got all the props going the right way.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's
but anyway,
correct.
I have a great time with
Did
it.
you have crosswind issues on the ground?
No, not on mine.
Yeah, I ate a couple airplanes in Minnesota with one of these. I gave everybody the heads up about the inability of once the tail is down and it's pretty slow, you without any differential braking and no differential thrusting, the airplane just turns weather vanes right into the wind at just the worst times. And it was grass field and it turned toward the safety fence and guys had their tails up against the backside of that tail fence, safety fence, and I chewed the tails right off of them. It was kind of ugly and tense for a little bit, but yeah, the tail of this stands with when it's on that, it's maybe 3 feet off the ground and all that dorsal effect. Did we lose each other? There we are. Are we back? You still there, fellas? Had a storm come through here. Well, based on what I see on my screen, I'm still there, but I'm not sure that the host is there. So anyways, I'm going to look at the chat screen. There's something. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, something happened to the internet. Obviously, we had a glitch here, and I don't know if it's the weather with things going on, but
yeah, I got showers coming and lightning coming through here again too. It could have been on my end, but
So, did you determine what makes it go to the right or to the left when the wind on your B-17 when you were talking?
It's literally you don't have enough airflow over the rudder at low speed.
So it's the mush blown
to turn the nose, and it just turns
really
like
every
a
time.
weather vane into the wind,
and then it just right into the fence and the whole deal.
Yeah,
oh,
it
man.
did.
Yeah,
I don't even think I broke a prop, but it just ran the nose up into the fence, and
no kidding.
The guys that had their tails up close to for their show, I chewed their tails off. There was a picture that ran around on the internet for a while. It didn't make some of the owners too happy.
Oh man, that would be bad.
So you got nothing counter rotating, not the inners or the outies. Everything's going to everything's the same.
Yeah. I ran into a guy that was running an electric B-17 at Top Gun here 4, 5, 6 years ago, and he was able, through mixing different channels, that once he was, because he had the exact same problem with a much smaller airplane, weather vaning, and he was able to mix thrust with his rudder. So once he got on the ground, if he had a rudder to the left, then the right engine was producing more power, and that made it a very friendly airplane to him.
Well, can you have differential thrust with these planes as well?
If you've got enough channels, but you've already got 4 motors and 11 other servos, and the power box has enough. It just gets into how many switches you've got on your radio, and I'm running a 16 Futaba, not the 32 Futaba. So
yeah, Futaba.
I live within my means, I guess.
So why you fly Futaba?
My gosh, I've never had an issue at all with with glitches. I've seen.
Yes.
But you have.
I know.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so
Well, I get. I'm like the only guy at our field. Actually, there's one other guy that has one. But yeah, everybody flies Spectrum or Fly Sky. Is that what it is? Fly Sky.
FR Sky.
Fly
FR
Sky,
Sky. A couple other ones, and yeah, they're all reaming me. Oh, you don't fly free top. And I got hit for the first time. What was that?
Last
A couple
summer.
months ago.
Last summer.
Yeah.
It was
Can't remember
hot.
yesterday,
Remember it was hot.
but literally I went 5 years and no problems whatsoever. And then for whatever reason, we've had some problem at the other end of the field. Some other guys, even with the Spectrum,
Yeah.
some kind of 2.4 every time. 3 or 4 planes were lost. So it wasn't just Futaba, it was everybody.
Huh.
Yeah.
But we got a big airfield where they bring in the presidential plane and the vice president plane. They practice the taxiing or landings and whatever they do. But you see it flying over, so who knows what they're emitting? Who knows?
Yeah. So what size props are you flying?
Oh my gosh. I think these are, again, I have not used these engines yet. So I think the recommended 2-blade on this engine is 2310.
That sounds right. Because we're working with this 40 twins now. And we're getting ready to put 2-blade props.
Let me check for you.
Yeah.
Good job. 2310 or 238, something like that.
Oh, let's see. If your name is Jeff, do not use this motor. If your name is Phil Camp, go electric. Engine maintenance, don't touch a thing, you'll screw it up.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Wayne to give us this information, tell us about your rivets. We were talking about that earlier and talking about your rivets and Phil Camp's and all the rivets he's put on his. Tell us about your rivets and what you've done.
Okay, what I've seen Phil doing is fantastic, and he's doing, I think, a glue dot.
Yeah.
And the B-17 was primarily a raised rivet design.
Yeah.
It's an awful lot of work, and I do want to fly in Houston this year, guys. So there's over 100,000 rivets on an airplane this size if you did the full thing.
Well, you better get to work.
Yeah, well, I don't have enough glue. I don't have money for that.
We'll send you some glue.
So I'm going to move the camera up here. Well, here I've got the deck off, so
yeah,
you can see the cockpit windows. The erratic stuff is done by a fine tip marking pen. Those rivets that look perfectly in a row, are vinyl rivets that I got from Chad Veach. Okay. I wanted to try them out, and he sent me a little sample pack, and he's got a good product. He really does. But what I found, I just started looking at how many rivets I've got to do, and putting them vinyl rivets on with a piece of tape and then scrubbing them down and pulling them back. It was just, I didn't know if I'd make it to Houston. Same thing as glue dots from that standpoint. So I mentioned that I used a silver marker to make the chipping and so on. So I got some fresh markers, and I just laid out a line and just went along and just touched that tip about every 360, and I'm satisfied with it. I'm going to move the camera again down to the stab where you can see I hope that comes through.
Yeah, it looks nice.
So that was all done with just a marking pen.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And that went a lot faster.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I don't want to sound like I am somehow making Chad Veach's rivets sound bad. It has nothing to do with that. It was just, trying to come up with something less time consuming.
Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, I've done a lot of rivets on planes, and I use the small fine tip Sharpie, or either the silver, black or silver, and they work great. I don't have Phil Camp's time nor patience to do what he's doing, man.
Well,
but
you're not a rock star either. He's a rock
no,
star.
that's true too. But,
Yeah,
He
he
loves
is.
fire.
but they look fantastic. I'll give him that. They look amazing. But you know, I mean, those are looking great on there. So besides this project, I know you've got more than one. What else are you working on? What's your other favorite project you've done?
Oh my gosh. Well, it seems I've been here in the Ozarks now just about 5 years, and I had retired just prior to that, so I'm really just kind of hitting my stride in retirement, and getting caught up on a lot of building. So the first big build project I had in mind to finish up was a 1.6 B26. And that was, well, I had about 6 years into it prior to coming to here, and then it took 2 years here to get that up and going. I've also done the Focke-Wulf 190, Don Smith.
Ooh.
Wow, yeah, I've seen that plant.
And that was, I don't know, about 8 months. So the biggest share of last year was spent on that. And then I had done a Top RC P51 prior to that. So in the last 4 years, I've been kind of stuck here in the building room. And this is really the project that I think is finally going to cut me loose, and I'm going to be able to get out there and do a lot more flying with the Focke-Wulf and the 51. I've got a little Taylor E3 up here that's converted from a SIG quarter scale kit. So I got plenty of stuff to fly, but as far as building, once I get this one done, it'll probably be a break from building for a little bit. You always got to do something.
Yeah.
And then just keeping up with maintenance and repairs. I'll have plenty of that to do.
So Randy Teague was asking what receivers and servos are you using, which you said Futaba for, I guess, receiver. What servos are you using?
I've experimented with several. I'm probably going to raise some eyebrows when I say this. There's a lot of people that use the real high-end digital servo. It seems like the bigger the airplane, the servos have to get bigger and more expensive, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to step out of the frame here and grab a box here, and I'll show you what I'm using.
What's up, Shay?
I'm on my way back already.
Make sure it's not the devil's lettuce box.
But this is a very inexpensive servo to buy. It's the Futaba 3306 MG.
Okay.
It's an analog 330 ounce servo.
Perfect.
And it can operate on as low as 4.8 volts and up to 6.2. So it's perfect for the equipment that I use. And
the battery life is probably 3 times that of a digital.
oh my gosh! And
because the digital runs minimum of
using
300
an analog
times.
servo.
Analog's only 50.
To me, the best thing about using the analog servo is you don't have that constant zero chatter and battery drain, especially
it's like you're welding.
when it comes,
it sounds like.
well,
like
that's using energy though when it's doing that. And on this airplane, you got to see the size of the barn door flaps on this. The flap is close to 5 feet in length, 6 inches at the
wow,
the backside, tapering up to about 4 inches, and a digital servo to hold that surface in the full down position it just uses a lot of energy that doesn't need to be used for me.
Right.
So you're not going to 3D this B-17?
I am not. I am not. We had the other B-17 I had we had a GoPro mounted to the tail and we could move it and monitor flight surfaces just to see
if anything's.
Guys, the amount of throw to an aileron was maybe an 1/8 to 3/16
Wow.
was all it ever got. It was just a nice slow bank into 30 to 40 degrees of bank, and the elevator 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch up down movement. That was all it took to fly the airplane.
Wow.
And the only time we saw max deflection was on the rudder, and that was at incredibly low speed. Yeah. So it isn't. So I guess what I'm saying is about those big, powerful servos. At some point, you can have a servo that's so strong it'll rip the mounts right out of whatever's trying to hold that kind of power. Mm-hmm. So these big airplanes, they make kind of a big deal about the mathematics and getting the energy and the proper torque and so on and so forth. The great thing about this particular product here, this B-17, it was designed back in the 90s and was flown on craft servos.
Yeah, baby.
So,
man, that was an ugly looking color they chose for those servos. That was pukey looking orange, brown,
that
something.
Yellow, yeah.
It looked like it's been sitting out in the sun for 100 years.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm kind of old school in that way. I have not moved on to the. I mean, I've got some digital servos, and I tend to some high tech and some others, and I tend to go through a bunch of those servos, usually by bumping them and not realizing that I'm putting pressure on a servo, and they just kind of burn up. Quit working. But I haven't lost an analog yet. So
how long have you been in this hobby?
I started building airplanes probably when I was 10 years old, and I'm 70 now, so 60 years.
Man, you don't even look a day over 50.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Wow.
If you was a girl, I'd buy you a drink.
Well, just a second. Let me go get my dress.
Somehow I believe that.
That's
and
awesome,
somehow
man.
I don't want to look.
Oh, that hurt.
I mean,
as soon as you can tell me what that is.
Oh, here he goes.
I just want to know if he knows what that is. Hold on a second. Take a look at that. Tilt your head. I got it goofy on my camera. You know what that is?
Is that a Phil Craft?
Huh.
You got to get.
No, that's.
I can see a person. I can see a tail and a nose.
That's a Wayne crap.
That is an interior door with a Super Tiger inline twin 60cc.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
No, I don't recognize that one.
Yeah, that's because it's an original. I built that when I had my dress on. That's back in the day. That was back in 85, 84. Been a while. I just thought you might look at it and enjoy.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a minute. He's been doing it a minute.
I got a better picture. You can see it from the side view. You can tell better. It's my fault because it's on the camera weird.
Oh, wow. That looks like something was a test bed in Germany in World War II.
Well, that was actually Southern California at El Mirage Dry Lake, and somebody lost a bet and had to buy me a pizza and Mountain Dew. It was over a weekend. I built it over the weekend. And he said, you can't get a door to fly. I said, don't ever, I'm a born redneck, but I was born over on the West Coast, so I was born on the wrong coast. But anyway, he lost. I won. I loved it. That's why I never did drugs. Why? I already had my own drug.
There you go. There you go.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and again, we talk about it on here all the time, how so many people are getting out of building and they want to put 6 screws in something and
I don't even think they know how to build.
No, it's a dying art. They don't know how, and especially all the 3D stuff in the cockpit that you've handcrafted. I mean, most people
that's a big part of the hobby. That's just fun for me. I mean, just to look at some kind of a blank slate and I'm lousy with instructions, but I got to comprehend instructions. I got to read it 4 or 5 times.
That's
I'll make
me,
a mistake,
man.
rip something out.
Yeah,
And
that's me.
if I just look at it and go, I
Yeah.
get along just fine.
And
So,
see, that's me. I hate to read. He's amazing at it, but I'm a visual person, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
If you can show it to me, I can do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
so the Don Smith design, you don't get a lot of help from him. It's a great scale airplane, but so much of a Don Smith is just left up to the builder. And that's the way it is with this 17 too. It's just a big open tube. You build, you just do it the way you want to do it.
I think that's cool though. I mean, you know, it's like I was telling you with him, with the Cessna I put carpet all in the back because you can see the wooden floor and all this mess. So I put carpet back there up the walls around the windows. And I sent him a picture and he's like, "What'd you do that for?" I said, "Because I like it." And then I told him, I said, "I want to get me some little luggage and put back there in a duffel bag or something, you know."
I just put a Led Zeppelin picture, a bumper sticker back there.
Oh yeah, you got to have the T-shirt.
Hey, yeah. But I mean, I do. I love the detail and customize.
Yeah,
and,
he's a detail guy. I'm not a detail guy. I just like to make it go. I like the tune pipes, the glow, the gas, the turbine, whatever. Anything that makes noise and heat.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So he does his thing. I do mine.
Yeah. So
yeah.
he sends them to me to get them looking good, and then we file.
Yeah. So I work under the dress. He works on the dress.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I mean, it's like you've heard of flight test, right?
Ask that again.
You've heard of flight test, right?
I don't think so.
You have, yes, you have. You had to have.
Well, flight test, they send out it's foam board in a box, and you have to build the plane that they've laser cut to build. So there's one called the Master Series, which is a massive F-14 that Wayne actually made out of foam board and hot glue with wings that move back and forth. And I painted it to look like a Jolly Roger scheme, and it flies incredible. I mean, it's an amazing plane. It's beautiful too. We flew it, and it blew our mind how good it flies. It's got twin 90 EDFs in it, and it just flies amazing.
I'm trying to get a picture of the building process.
But you know what I'm talking about when I say foam board, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it comes in a box like this wide by this long and that thick, and you make an F-14.
All right, so that's the wing center section with the wing mechanism, and it's all light ply, and there's no bearings except for it's all hand built, literally. Everything comes flat sheet, and you have to form every single radius on that. But anyway, it's fun to fly.
It's big. It's really big. It's like, I think with the wings,
I think it's 72-inch by 72-inch square, long and width with the fully extended, and like 47
swept. With the wings swept,
something like that.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, but you know, it's the old story now because we've already talked about it here on the show that we test it because it's a twin, right? F-14 engines are so far apart. You know, you got that yaw. If you lose an engine,
right?
Yeah. Okay, so we've had the thing on the stand all day. We ran the batteries, ran it like 5-6 times, and we're all doing the power and put our hands back there to feel all the power. Everybody's like, "Ooh, well, 5-6 times." Everything worked flawless. Now we're going to go throw it because no landing gear. You got to huck it.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll just give me 10 degrees. Don't give me no 90 degrees. Don't give me no down. Just give me 10 degrees. So he's doing everything he's supposed to. He's got it like this. He throws it. As soon as he let go, one engine goes, and it goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, come to find out, it was a faulty ESC. Okay. It worked. What is it? It worked at like 14, 15 seconds, and then it would stop. But we would never run it that long. I did it later. I found out after I got it back, something was wrong with the ESC. Anyway, we changed out the ESC. The second time, man, I was shooting bricks because I'm afraid that, you know, you lose confidence. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that looks really good for a flat foam.
And that is all came in a flat sheet box, 4 inches thick by 3 feet by 3 feet to the house. And you have to shape everything. But anyway.
Go ahead.
we threw it and it went away, and I about wet myself. I was so excited that I got to see it go away.
That's it in the air.
Yeah, there it is in the air.
Whoa.
It is great. It's
Yeah.
only $199,
Yep.
but you got to build everything. I mean, everything.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's a blast. I never built it before. It's kind of odd because you know how you do everything symmetrically, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be right, and you got to be the length. When you build that thing, it's all by freehand. There's no benchmark. So
Yeah.
you're molding this stuff like this, and you're hot gluing it and burning your fingers, and you're building something you don't know what it is because this is the right part, upside down. Is this a forward? Is this the back? You have no idea what you're building. It's the weirdest thing I've ever done. So when you get
Yeah.
all done, you know how you have everything symmetrically, right? Here's this, and this is the
Yeah.
vertical, and everything's got to be 90. It is so weird because you're building all this contortional stuff, and you go, man, am I doing it right? Because you can't tell what it is yet. But anyway, we had a blast.
That's
yeah.
me throwing it right there.
Is that a video?
No, that's the picture.
Oh, that's the picture. That was the second one because you
Good
hucked it on
clouds,
the 90
good blue
degrees on that
sky.
one.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's great. What did you do for a living before you retired? How much money did you make? Millions or what? Wait a minute. Why are you laughing?
Well, let's see. Out of high school, I went to work as a carpenter, and I learned to build cabinets.
That's where the 3D building stuff comes in. Now I
So
see
I
the
did
detail.
that for 15 years. And about 12 years into it, I got this flying bug and started a pilot's license. And then my last 3 years of my carpentry career, I dropped my tools, literally walked away from them. And because I had my commercial certificate and all that stuff in my pocket by then. And I pursued aviation as a career. So I spent 25 years flying Falcon and Gulfstream pretty much all around the world. Out of
Really?
Omaha.
Wow.
Because our president, it flies. He's just transitioning now to another one. He flew the Phenom,
Oh yeah, you
the
bet.
business jet. He flew that for
Yeah.
3
And he
years,
flies
4 years,
Parker's
and then he had the
Citation.
Challenger. He flew that for several years, and then now he's transitioning. He's going to school this week to get his ratings and do everything for this new one. He just got a new job. I can't remember the name of the plane, but I do remember what happened to the other pilots and why they're not flying that plane. I'll tell you if you don't tell anybody.
I'll
They filled the airplane. Now, if you're the captain of the plane, you're responsible for everything, right?
Yep.
They forgot to put the gas cap back on the wing.
Oh,
And it came off and went into the intake
Ooh.
of the side that it sucked it in.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it was either, well, you can leave on your own or we're going to fire you. Which one would you like?
Sir, just mail me my check. I'll see you later.
Hey, yeah.
Anyway, horrible story, but everybody survived, but everybody got fired, I think, or whatever you call it, let go.
Yeah, that's
Or however that happened. I don't know. But yeah, he's literally going down to Florida and 2.5 weeks of training in the simulator, this, that, all the minimums of this, that, and everything you got to learn. It's like 50 grand to get your new type rating.
yes, it's incredibly expensive. Yeah. Yeah.
He must be
So
making
that's
some money.
what I did. And as far as the hobby, the airplanes has always been in my life.
What got you into the hobby, though?
I mentioned earlier my brother, the Navy sniper.
Ah.
He's the one that got you into it? Wait a minute. There's a guy that kills things, and he got you into flying?
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd that-
He
how'd
had come
that
home from the Navy, and I was at my desk struggling with a little balsa wood stick tissue javelin. I think
What
it wasn't. That was Gillows. Gillows made that.
Little kids, yes.
And it was about my third try on a kit. And he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to make this thing fly." And he says, "Well, where's the instructions?" And I says, "I can't read them. I don't know how." So he spent a couple hours with me, showing
So how
me
old were you?
how to. I was 10. And anyways, so Brother Larry, he's the one who kind of got me started on, okay, slow down, take your time, look at the instructions, comprehend what they're saying, and get after it. And then the Cox Plastics and
So what was your
there's a couple.
full RC plane that had a glow motor on it? Which one
The
was that?
SIG Cadet.
Yes, that's a great plane.
Fuji 40.
Yes, I remember the matter of fact, I still have a Fuji 19. I literally have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great little engines.
Yeah.
So you fell in love with it? Did you have to learn to glow engines and how to tune it and all that the hard way, or did you have someone teach you?
I was part of a good club, so there's a couple of mentors there that did me well. They guided me and so on and so forth. One of those guys was with the Byron Group, and so by mid '80s he had given me a foot in the door, and I ended up flying zeros in their show team for the Byron.
What years? I was there
through the '80s.
I was there in '89.
Really?
Yeah.
What I did not fly after they went.
What was
to
that guy
Ankeny.
over on the flight line?
Joe. That was Joe. That wasn't me.
Were you there when the B-29 went in?
Yeah, I helped pick it up.
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you see the F4 do the flat pancake all the way down from like about 400, 500 feet? The F4
Don't remember that one.
I saw it. I was there. I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen that. I didn't even believe that it could be possible, but he had full throttle. I am watching this thing pancake, just like in the movie, the Top Gun, right? Yeah. I mean, he's just going. You can see everything trying to work. He's trying to nose it over. He's trying to nothing. Straight down and pancake. Unbelievable. All engines running.
Wow.
I think it was the Tom Cook, the old Tom Cook.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But man, yeah, I was there in '89. That place was awesome. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
It was
so that's what got me into the big stuff was Byron. You'd build one for the show, and then he'd let you keep one to fly around home and advertise his product. So that's kind of just where it went. I've never really tried to compete with it or anything else. I watched.
So did you use the Per Power and the G62s and all that?
Oh yeah, the G62s, Quadra 50s, the Per Power on a Sax.
Yep. The four-bladed
4.2. In fact, I just sold the last 4.2s and a Quadra 52 Per Power engine in the last few months. I saw a guy on one of the RC sites needing that stuff, and I says, "Man." You can have mine.
Did you ever fly any of the Virojet stuff?
I never did fly the jets.
What?
I had one once, and the Rossi that went with it, and it just sat
around.
Or the 80s. Even to this day,
nothing.
There's something about the jets that I like to watch fly, and even the 3D guys, I like to watch them. But I guess my building thing is World War II and flying thing is World War II.
Everybody has a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what keeps you happy.
That's right. That's right.
I said, is it up in?
That's my pronoun, I guess.
Sioux City. Yeah, that's correct. Some guy was asking about where the Byron event was. Yeah, Sioux City. That's where that. What was the airplane that lost control of both engines? I mean, all the surfaces and they flew in by throttles.
Yeah. He crash landed there.
80, whatever that was. Yeah, I was there. Matter of fact, the wife lost the ticket, and we couldn't get on the airplane to go home. So we're sitting there. You had to buy another ticket to get on the airplane to go home. Barely didn't have any money to leave, and they come to find out that the tickets fell behind the little desk and was sitting on the floor. They found it after we left. I'm going, oh my goodness. I was only married for a couple months and felt like 100 years.
And said a DC-10 crashed there in 1989.
That's what it was, a DC-10.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because I was there looking at that lot. It looked like I could still see the corn that was all messed up. I don't know, but that was nasty. A lot of people survived that because they got that far.
Yes.
That was nasty.
All right. Well, look, David, we're going to let you get out of here, man. It's getting about that time. And we appreciate you so much for being here tonight and talking to us. And we want to see more of this plane. So as you get more done, we might try to get you back on and show us some more of it, man. And tell us all the cool stuff you've done to it. Because I love it.
Yeah, someday when I get it running, we can actually do an outdoor event.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be awesome. And we'll probably see you in down at Balmer Field this year if you're going to be down there.
Look me up. I will be there.
Awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in here tonight, and we appreciate it. And we will be talking with you, and we'll stay in touch in the chat.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Have a
fellas.
good night. All right, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, fellas. Well, hope you enjoyed that, man. I mean, that's a beautiful airplane. It's going to look great once it's all said and done. I can't wait to see it, hear it run, watch it fly. Hopefully, we'll see it fly at Balmer Field if he brings it down there. Who knows? Think he will? Sure he will. Yeah.
I'm gonna let it. He's gonna let me fly it.
Well, he really cool. Well, I don't know if he flies goofy, but
I'll be on trainer box.
trainer box, training wheels.
We're
trainer box.
Furtabas. We're bros.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, guys, y'all have a good week. Get some flying done. Be safe with this crazy weather we're having, and get the warm weather here in daylight savings time, man. And spring forward this weekend. Don't forget it. And
Don't be late.
Phil said he might come to our fly-in.
Phil,
Yeah, he did. He said he might come to our fly-in.
you're gonna give us a show with a Spitfire and the whole
So
deal?
hopefully that would be really cool. Get Phil down here and have a good time with us. And our fly-in is April 12th, guys. If you're anywhere nearby, come by. We've got some great stuff coming. Legend Hobby is a great sponsor as always sending out cool stuff to us for our raffles. We're going to get some stuff from High Tech. We've got great sponsors. So Scale RC Engines has got us a gift certificate to give away as well. So good
DA70?
food. Yeah, DA70. We got good food, good fun.
Yeah, we have the best barbecue
And,
in the
yeah,
East.
We'll
that I
probably have
know of.
about 400 or 500 people there. It's a big event, so in and out. So
Big event for us.
yeah. So if you can get down to Kinston, North Carolina, around April the 12th, guys, pack it up and come on down. Anyway, y'all have a great week. Be safe. Get some flying in if you can after bad weather, and we'll see you next week right here at the same time. Have a great week. Take care, and we are out.